A little girl wandered into the wilderness and disappeared for 6 days, leaving searchers fearing the worst. But when she reappeared, her calmness left everyone stunned. Make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Now let's dive in. On a sunny afternoon, 8-year-old Katherine Van Alst was playing near a creek with her brothers, just a short distance from their campsite. Katherine, curious and adventurous, wandered off while her family was momentarily distracted. It was a split-second event. One moment she was there, and the next, she was gone. Her brothers called out to her, but there was no response. Panic set in almost immediately. Katherine had vanished. The family alerted park authorities, and a large-scale search operation began. Devil's Den, a park known for its dense woods, jagged cliffs, and wild animals, soon became the focus of a massive manhunt. Katherine was wearing only a bathing suit, which left her dangerously exposed to the elements. As hours turned into days, hope began to wane, and the vastness of the park made the search feel increasingly desperate. Devil's Den State Park spans over 2,500 acres of rugged terrain, filled with dense forests, rivers, and deep ravines. It is a beautiful yet dangerous place, with steep cliffs and wildlife that can turn deadly in an instant. For an 8-year-old girl, especially one with no supplies or adequate clothing, the odds of survival seemed slim. As the search stretched into its second day, the rescue team faced a grim reality. Searchers scoured the landscape with bloodhounds, while volunteers combed through the dense brush. Helicopters hovered overhead, looking for any sign of movement, but Katherine had seemingly disappeared into the wilderness. The fact that she had not been found was baffling. How far could an 8-year-old go in such treacherous terrain? The park itself was teeming with wildlife, from snakes and wild boars to bears and other predators. Every minute that passed felt like a ticking clock, as her family feared the worst. Nighttime brought new dangers. Temperatures dropped, and the forest came alive with the sounds of nocturnal animals. The search continued for 6 long, agonizing days. As hope was beginning to fade, a member of the rescue team, Peter Chaddock, ventured near a cave located 7 miles from the family's campsite. As he called out Katherine's name, a faint voice responded, "Here I am." Chaddock couldn't believe his ears. Could it really be Katherine? He followed the voice and, to his astonishment, found the little girl sitting calmly near the cave's entrance. She was covered in insect bites, still wearing the same bathing suit from 6 days prior, and appeared dirty but unharmed. Katherine had survived in the wilderness for nearly a week with no food, no shelter, and no protective clothing. What was even more remarkable was how she had managed to survive. Katherine had sustained herself by drinking water from natural springs and eating berries. When asked how she had endured, she replied with childlike simplicity, saying, "I just couldn't find my way back." Her calm demeanor shocked the rescuers, who had expected a far more traumatic scene. Despite her ordeal, Katherine showed no signs of emotional distress. Her resilience amazed everyone involved in the search, and her survival became a national sensation. Katherine's survival in Devil's Den has left many people puzzled for decades. How did an 8-year-old girl manage to survive in such dangerous conditions? The weather had fluctuated during her time in the forest, with hot days and cold nights. The terrain was filled with hazards that could have easily caused injury. Yet Katherine remained unscathed, as if guided by some invisible force. Many theories have been floated over the years. Some believe that Katherine's youth and innocence gave her a certain level of protection, allowing her to remain calm in the face of extreme danger. Others point to the human body's extraordinary ability to adapt and survive in life-threatening conditions. Whatever the explanation, Katherine's story has become legendary, a tale of human endurance against overwhelming odds. When Katherine was finally reunited with her family, the emotional toll of the past week became evident. Her father, John Van Alst, had been tirelessly searching alongside the rescue teams. After 3 days, the sheriff had urged him to take a break, as he was physically and emotionally exhausted. John could hardly believe it when he received the news that his daughter had been found alive. The reunion between Katherine and her family was filled with tears of joy and disbelief. After 6 days of fearing the worst, their little girl had come back to them unharmed. The Van Alst family's camping trip had turned into a harrowing experience, but it ended with a miracle that no one could have anticipated. The story of Katherine Van Alst remains a powerful reminder of the unpredictability of nature and the incredible resilience of the human spirit. For those involved in the search, It was a moment they would never forget. For Katherine, it became a part of her childhood, a story she would carry with her for the rest of her life. Her case has been studied by survival experts, psychologists, and outdoor enthusiasts who have tried to make sense of how she managed to stay alive for so long under such dangerous conditions. But perhaps the most important lesson of Katherine's story is that, even in the most dire of circumstances, there is always hope.